So today I'm going to work on my wife's 2007 Hyundai Entourage, and the rear valve cover seal has to be replaced. It's just leaking. It's gotten worse and worse and worse. I had already done the front gasket, valve cover gasket, so I don't need to do it. Just to give me just to give me an idea of what I have to do. I've got to remove beauty cover. Remove the wiring harness and hoses and shit that's on top. Remove the the intake manifold. Then when I've got that off, I can replace the gasket. I also need to replace all the spark plugs. This car has 250,000 miles on it, and I think it's the original spark plugs. So that is amazing. Whatever brand spark plugs are in here is just great. And it's no error, no misfires, nothing. So they're still working great. Obviously, I'm going to be putting the best I can Dentsu iridiums in there. Let's see what else. Yeah, so today is a Sunday. I've got to work fast. My wife needs the car for Sunday, and I basically have 5 hours to do the job. I don't know if I can do it. It's about 10 a.m. now, and rain is supposed to come in at 2. So hopefully it comes in late. But I better take a video every now and then of my progress. So I got the beauty cover off, and I'm starting to remove harnesses and unplug wiring harnesses and hoses and brackets. So I've removed, let's see, 2 connectors that go in this area, and there's a third one in the back I'm having a hard time getting to. And I've removed this bracket here and loosened it. I'm about to loosen this bracket and remove that. This has been loosened, so that can be folded forward when I get everything else loose. I've removed the air channel, the intake boot that goes from the air filter to the throttle body, and I've loosened this thing that mounts like this whatever this thing is mounts like that, and also that hose goes in there. So let's see, so I think that's all that needs to be done there. This is going to fold away nicely. Let's see, the boot that goes from here to here also has a hose that plugs into this. All right, that's where I am at so far. Let me keep going. Now I've removed the brake booster hose from here. It went from there to there, okay, and then I just tucked it up here out of the way, and I removed 2 nuts and a bolt to remove this. Now I'm just going to leave it here. I don't want to disconnect fluid lines or whatever that is, fuel lines, whatever, down there. So I'm going to leave that just like that. Now we're getting close to being able to remove this on this side. Let's see, is this going to clear? Yeah. So on this side, there was a bracket down here that I removed 2 bolts that was holding this bracket here to the back of the engine, or back of the valve cover that's got to come off, so I removed it. Still working on this harness here, trying to get it disconnected. Engine is still a little hot, so it's kind of hard to keep my hands on it for too long. But I need to release that harness there, and I think I can leave all this. I think I can leave all this stuff alone there, and I just need to be able to pull this out of the way. I've got all this loose, so this harness right here is what's keeping me from being able to pull this whole thing forward out of the way. All right, let me keep going. And I'm still struggling to get this harness out of the way for this. I cannot remember what I did when I did the front valve cover to remove this. Maybe I disconnected the wires to the computer, and this whole harness, maybe it just kind of folded over. I don't remember. Anyway, this is probably good enough for the back as it is, so I'm going to go for it. Back here I had to disconnect these brackets that were holding the harnesses to the engine. And back in the very back, this pipe here, I think it's a fuel line or something. I can't really show. There you go. That has 2 bolts that attach it to the back of the intake. So that had to be done. I think I'm just about ready to try to pull this off. I'm feeling around, filling more hoses. Of course, when I start pulling it out, it'll tell me if there's hoses. So this is what it's looking like right now. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pull that intake off now. Okay, so first I had to remove this breather tube that goes across the top and is bolted actually on top of this on this side. So that's got to come off. I also didn't mention this previously, but I've removed the spark plugs and all this stuff here to give this harness as much wiggle room as I can get. So pulled the spark plugs out, unconnected everything I could. I did damage the hose for this that plugs into it. This hose right here, it's got a crack in it now. It may leak. If so, I'll have to replace it. Yeah, so that's the first casualty of war right there. That's the only thing so far that's broke that I have to do something about. All right, I think I'm ready to try to remove this thing. It's looking like bolt here, nut there, bolt there, bolt there, bolt there, right there, and maybe one on the sides, I don't know. So looks like a nut, 3 bolts, 4 bolts, that's gonna be a bolt, and then it might come off. Let's see what happens. I've got it loose. There is a 14mm bolt that is on the back side. This assembly with this thing that didn't have any things on it, these are supposed to hold connectors, I suppose. This assembly was in the very back. There's a bracket that goes up from the bottom of the engine right where my hand is. I'm running through where the bracket is, and it goes right into the back of the intake. That 14mm bolt is there. I also didn't notice earlier that there's a nut on this side, right there. There's a nut that goes right there to remove it. So there's 2 nuts, 3 bolts in the front. Then there's this. I'm sorry, there's 1 nut, 3 bolts, 1 nut, this bolt here, and then the bolt in the back for that has a bracket that this thing ties into. So that's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 things that have to be removed before the intake can come off. So let me see if it'll come off now. Still having problems getting this out. I discovered that there's a bracket on this side as well. It's right there. There's a black colored, it's hard to see in the dark, in the shade, but it's right where my hand is back here. And it feels like 10mm, I don't know for a fact yet, but to get to that, you've got to get past this hose here. See this hose? It goes up into a sensor on where the input to the input is, and into the intake. So you might be tempted to remove this hose. I tried and tried, but I'm scared I might break this plastic sensor. So there's 1 bolt that holds the sensor in. Just unbolt it and then pull it away like that. See that? And tuck this out of the way. So now that's not going to be an issue anymore. Now all I have to do is get this bracket bolt out, and this should come off then. That bolt on that back bracket was a 12mm bolt. That's what it was. Okay, so now this is ready to come out. I left this bolt in to support this while I remove that last one, because it might want to tend to go that way. So I'm ready to see if this intake will come out. Intake is off, and I immediately stuffed all the holes in the engine with paper towels, tried to keep dirt and bolts and shit from falling down in there. So now we're ready to start getting all of this apart, so I can pull the valve cover off. So I've got to get these harnesses. I've got to disconnect. Looks like I've got to disconnect all of the fuel injectors, all the wires going to the spark plugs. I guess I'll just remove the spark plugs, the coils, and take all, the coil and wires and just lay them apart across, like I did down here. The coil and the spark and the wire can be moved out of the way that way, just by removing these 10mm bolts. All right, let's see what else. I've got to remove that breather hose. No, I don't actually don't have to. I could. Wouldn't hurt anything if I did. The breathers I should replace, but I'm just going to clean them because I've had no problems with them, so I'll clean those good before I put this back together. Let's see what else. I think that's it. And I can start pulling the bolts out and replacing that valve cover seal. I got all the bolts out of the top of it, so it's ready to come off. I've used a hammer and a piece of wood to break it loose because it was on there good and tight. Really, if you had a rubber mallet, that would be better, but I didn't have one, so a piece of wood and a hammer works just fine. And it doesn't take much, just a gentle tap. So it's loose now, it should come off. I'm ready to replace the valve cover seal, and start bolting it back. Got the valve cover off. I've removed all the filth on the seal, so it's all clean, and the places that need some RTV are at the joints here, like right here. You need to put a little RTV. and back here where that intersects. So get all that old RTV off of there. Got a little piece left, let me get it. Well, I gotta get a knife or something to get it. It's not coming off. All right, so anyway, clear all that off and then apply the RTV and put the new seal in and torque it down. I gotta look up the torque specs. Okay, so as soon as I removed the valve cover, the wind kicked up. Didn't start raining immediately, but it's starting to sprinkle, so I brought it inside, covered the engine up with some plastic bags, keep the weather off of it, shut the hood. Now I'm going to try to remove this very, very hard seal. I mean, very hard. First place I tried to lift it was here, and it just snapped off. I mean, look how hard that is. Hard plastic, not rubber anymore. And I've started removing it here, and it just snapped. So it's very brittle. Definitely needs to be replaced. So let me get that removed. Here's the new one. This is a nice Felpro, F-E-L-P-R-O brand, the best you can get. And so I'm going to be installing that as soon as I get this old one removed and everything cleaned up. The rain has stopped. I'm going to resume. Hopefully it doesn't start up again. So I am ready to start putting the black RTV down in the joints here and on the back side, and getting that valve cover back on and bolted down. It's going to be torqued to 84 inch-pounds or 7 foot-pounds, but got to go inch-pounds for the accuracy. Okay, let me get that done. See how I did it? Got the black RTV on the joint and also in the back. More difficult in the back, couldn't really see what I was doing, but there it is. That should be fine. All right, let's get this back together. I've got all the bolts installed and I've snugged them up to remove the slack. Now I will go to online and look up the pattern, the torque pattern. I've looked at it previously and I know the first two torque are in the middle here, by the middle cylinder, spark plug hole. So I'm going to pull that up and torque it down to first 35 inch-pounds, then 50 inch-pounds, then 48, and then 84 inch-pounds. I'm gonna ramp it up in 3 or 4 different rounds of torquing. Okay, I just pulled the first spark plug out, and I was expecting it to be completely gone, but that does not look bad at all. That thing still had another 100,000 miles to go. These are NGKs. These are NGKs IR, so that means they're iridiums. IRF 5G11, that's what they had in here. I am putting Densu iridiums in there, and these were bought off Rock Auto, so they should be genuine parts. I'm putting the Densu SK16PR L11s. So they are the same type of iridium, but they don't look the same, do they? They look different. This spark plug did not want to come out. It was really in there tight. So even though you're not supposed to put anti-seize on these, I'm going to. Whenever it's silver like this, you're not supposed to put anti-seize. But because I had so much trouble getting that first one out, I'm going to put some anti-seize on that. And just a little bit, just so that it'll help come out the next time if we ever need to do this again. But I cannot complain. You know, if I would have known what shape these, assuming the rest of them are in similar shape, I would not have replaced them. I mean, that looks really pretty good. This has to have been replaced. I don't think Hyundai used NGK. This had to have been replaced. Now, we bought the car with 120,000 miles on, 128,000 or something. And the person we bought it from did not mention that they had replaced the spark plugs recently. So if they were replaced, they were replaced in the first 100,000 or something. So this has like at least 120 to 150,000 miles on it. Very impressive, NGK. Very impressive. Good job. The anti-seize lubricant I'm going to put on those spark plugs is this one, the Permatex, whatever that number is, 80078. This is an aluminum based, so if you look at it, it looks like it's aluminum. Let me open this up. So it looks like it's aluminum. I'm going to use that one just a little bit, just to lubricate those threads so that they go in and hopefully don't damage the threads in the head, because this one was rough. This one did not want to come out. So again, you're not supposed to use this, but I'm going to just because of the situation. So I got all the spark plugs in, tightened in, and I was in the process of putting the last one when it started just pouring on me. So I quickly got that last spark plug in, and I slapped in the coil packs. So the coil packs are in. I need to tighten the coil packs down, but that's where I got. And then I threw plastic bags over the engine and put cardboard over it and shut the hood because it was raining. I don't know if we're going to get more rain. I don't know if I should try to continue or not at this point. I may or may not. I don't know. I guess I could put the coil packs in. That would probably help keep the water away from the spark plugs at least. I might do that much. All the spark plugs that were removed, they're all the same type, Iridium NGKs. These were the 3 back ones. They look cleaner than the 3 front ones. The reason being there was some oil that had leaked when I replaced the first valve cover. I never removed the spark plugs, so I didn't clean out any oil that was sitting in there. And so that's what that was. And I guess the oil kind of seeped past over time, so that made those dirty. I don't think there's an engine problem. I think it's just the old valve seal cover on the front was leaking pretty badly, and that should be corrected now. But they all look pretty good to me. These are the front ones. I mean, they still look like they can be used to me. And this is an example of the back one. Looks okay. Guys, it's raining on and off. I didn't really have ability to film this because of the rain, so we just put it back together as quickly as we could. So I'm going to say assembly is the reverse of disassembly, just like you would see in some manuals. It was fun. I found some shortcuts that I could have taken that I didn't when I was putting it back together. The last thing to do is hook the battery up and put the beauty cover on. I'm going to put the battery on, hook the battery up first and start it and see if we get any check engine lights. I'll be back. Car's all back together and we started it up, and we did have some problems. Got a whole bunch of error codes, and it turned out to be one of the connectors was not connected. One of the wiring connectors. Once we found that out and snapped in, and I cleared the codes have not come back. And this car is running great. And we'll just have to see if the oil leaks are all fixed. Pretty sure it will be. But that's it for this. I believe everything went fairly smoothly. And it took me, 6-7 hours, but I was fighting the weather too. Anyway, if I can do it, you can too. Thanks for watching.